This was the site of some of America's darkest days. This is Heart Mountain in Wyoming. And during World War II, this was the site of one of the Japanese internment camps. It was opened in August of 1942. And over the next 3 years, nearly 14,000 Japanese Americans were forced to stay here. And just an idea of how many people that was, at one point when there was over 10,000 Japanese Americans at this site, that would have made it the third largest city in Wyoming at the time. Today, all that remains of the original site is one of the barracks buildings as well as a watchtower. However, they have built memorials on this property as well as a museum, which was one of the most impactful museums I've ever been to. The items on display as well as the guides who work there are able to provide a thorough history of everything that happened, way beyond anything any textbook has ever taught me. And one thing I found particularly unique about this museum was that in many places they had life-size cutouts of individuals, which truly put a face on everything that you were reading about and made the experience of being here even more humbling. This internment camp in particular has a very unique history. You see, even though there were individuals of Japanese descent who were forced to be here, it didn't disqualify them from serving in the military, and over 80% of the residents who were supposed to serve in the military refused to go. At the same time, about 650 individuals did choose to serve in the army, of which 15 were killed in action and over 50 wounded. They were protecting the country while their relatives were forced to stay here. Another fascinating story about Heart Mountain was the Boy Scout troop that was located inside of the camp. One of the Boy Scouts later became the U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Norman Mineta, who at the time was a kid and was able to associate with a local Boy Scout group from Cody, Wyoming. He befriended an individual who became a U.S. Senator later on, Alan Simpson. The two formed a great friendship during their days in the Boy Scouts, despite their difference of situation. And the two reunited once in government positions later on in life. And they made it a mission to make sure that the history of this location will always be preserved. And in recent years, the Mineta-Simpson Institute at Heart Mountain was established, located inside the museum. It offers different workshops and outreach, ensuring that this chapter of American history will never be forgotten. If you're visiting northwestern Wyoming, I highly recommend to go here and learn more about the experience.